All right, in this recording, I am going to do an unboxing of a new safety uh, content pack that we just imported into Acadicus. So I just went into room 1667. So if you download the free Acadicus viewer at acadicus.com, you can just download download the Acadicus viewer, unzip those files somewhere locally, and open Acadicus and enter 1667. You'll be able to see this scene. And I'm actually going to record the unboxing. So I'm going to go over here to the forum. I'm going to rotate my position. Teleporting is the A and X button on the Oculus controllers. So just press and hold and you get this teleport arc, and wherever you're pointing is where you go. And joystick is for rotating. So I am going to go into edit mode. I'm going to start recording. And the recording has just started. Welcome to Acadicus. I'm going to be doing an unboxing of the I guess it's, let me just check to make sure I get the naming of it right. A new content pack we got from TurboSquid called the Workman Mining Safety Equipment by Glenn Harris. This is a $299 asset on turbosquid.com, and it's pretty high quality stuff. So we brought it into Acadicus and you can create scenes with it now. I'm actually going to leave my recorder. I'm going to just tear this menu off and put that over there and leave it active in the room while I'm going. So I'm going to go into my assets. I've already downloaded the content pack. It's named Fire Rescue. It should be Mining Safety. But here are the assets. Let me actually turn the sun. I'm in the shadow here, so I'm going to turn the sun so I get a little bit more light. And so again, actually before I go, I can show you Safety Pack is right here, is the name in your content packs. If you are a subscriber to your own sim space, you can come in. There's a public sandbox. You can also experiment with this. So if you go to acadicus.com and go to the library, you can find out where the public sandbox is, and you can get to these there. All right, so there's my inventory. There's my fire safety. This is a little far away to see, so I can just bring my menu in. We'll take a closer look. Fire safety. We've got equipment and we've got vehicles. Fire rescue. But again, I think most of these are mining. At least some of them are. And then there's also a couple of additional assets that we have, ladders and a fire truck and a scaffolding as well. So, all right, well, let's start bringing these into the scene. So we've got a safety belt, and it looks pretty cool. So again, this is mining safety, and I am not an expert at all in mining safety. So it'd be cool if we get somebody that's interested that does know something about mining safety could come in here and join me, and let's capture a recording of kind of a virtual podcast together, talking about what these pieces of equipment are. I think that'd be amazing. We got a pair of boots. Put those on the ground here. Actually scale these way up. That'd be kind of fun. Some big rubber boots. Go to here. I don't know what this thing is, but I'm guessing it's important for mining safety. The safety company. Parts per ppm, percentage of volume, CO2. So I'm guessing this is like an oxygen meter to make sure that air quality is safe. Again, man, it'd be great to have somebody in here to know something about mining safety who could help us out. I'm going to go ahead and place these around the room. We've got 3 different types of hard hats. So here is one style. Looks like the rim goes all the way around. The brim goes all the way around. Here's one, only the brim in the front. I'm guessing these also have some relevance and significance. Let's put that there. We've got face mask, filter. These normals are only facing one direction. If you're not familiar with modeling terminology, it's just that there's a surface facing this way, but there's not facing this way. So it looks like it's invisible on this side. So we could polish those up at some point. I'll put this next to the hard hat there. All right, we have a ladder. This is not part of the mining safety pack. I'm going to leave surface align on and just bring that right into the room here. So it's a nice ladder. Looks like an extension ladder. So that could be used for safety training. We've got, this is back to being a part of the, it looks like a harness tie. for the mining safety. I've got my surface align on right now, so that's why it's like trying to surface align to these different objects. If I turn surface align off, it'll be not surface aligning. I'm also going to make these learner interactable. These boots are distracting me a bit. I'm going to make these more of a normal size here. Turn back my surface align so I can put these down on the ground. I was going to say that I'm going to make these learner interactable. So I'm going to tear off my selected object menu as well so I can use that more easily. I'm going to turn these to learner interactable. That way, if somebody comes into the room 1667 and wants to pick these things up, you'll be able to just grab onto these using your lower trigger on your controller. All right, so we've got hard hat 3. So here is a different style hard hat. Looks very similar, but slightly different than the other designs. Interesting. All right, let's go into assets. Well, we've got our fire truck. I'll save that for last. Here is a harness. This looks very similar to a harness we did a project in partnership with the American Society of Safety Professionals, and that is available actually for sale on their website for $500 for Oculus Rift. Partnered up with LJB and ASSP to create that, and you get to select which safety harness is appropriate for the project that you're doing in that scenario. It's a pretty cool application. Definitely recommend checking that out. Let's see what we got here. We got a ladder, another ladder, step ladder. Put that in the scene here. Looks like the colliders might need a little updating because the surface align is going to the bottom there. I'm going to go ahead and call this part 1 of the recording. No, what the heck, I'll just record it all in one. I'm really going to stretch the limits of our recording feature here and see if it works. We've got a safety vest. I got to remember to make these learner interactable. What else do we have? Safety glasses. At some point it'd be cool if I could equip these to my avatar. It's a little difficult at this point. We're using the Oculus avatars, and it's just challenging because all the Oculus avatar faces are different and they have different features, so it's hard to just figure out where to attach those in a way that makes sense. Another pair of glasses. Once I bring these objects into the scene, so I should just kind of talk a little bit about that. When I go into my assets menu, I'm using my top trigger, the one that is at the top of the controller, to select buttons in the menu. But when I want to bring something into my scene, I just point at it, and then I'm using my lower trigger to just grab and bring it into the scene, and then I've got it. Again, it's surface aligning right now because I've got surface align checked, but if I turn that off, it's like that. So we've got a nice asset here. Looks like it's bringing in, I'm not even going to pretend like I know what these things are at this point. I'm going to leave that for our subject matter expert to come in and talk to us about that at some point, and we can capture that as a kind of a podcast. Actually, there's a clue because each of these are named. This is a thermal imaging camera. That previous one actually is a Versa FLE flow mask, FLO. This is a thermal imaging camera. Boy, would it be cool in our next, these are all generation 1 assets in Acadicus that are not interactable, but our generation 2 are going to include interactivity. So it'd be cool if we did actually have a thermal imaging camera. Although I don't know, is there anything giving off heat in virtual reality? I'm not so sure. We have a scaffolding. This is cool. Check this out. Oh, I'm going to need surface align for this one. Look at that. So unfortunately with this one, there's a way that we can, if we spend a little bit more time with this asset, making it so that you can teleport up to that platform. But right now that's not set, so you can't get up there. But what I could do is I could just create a primitive asset, primitive shape, put it up there, scale it up, and then shrink it. Oops, grab the rotate instead of the scale. Let me turn my laser back on, make it a little bit easier. So now there's a cube up there. I can go up, It's a good thing. You know, I used to be afraid of heights, but I'm not anymore as much. Maybe it's, there we go. Hello down there. All right, let's get back down here. Okay, back to assets. Where were we? We had the scaffolding. And finally, we have these three pre-configured mining, I guess you'd call them miners, mining safety professionals. We'll leave these guys in the room. Got one configured as such. These are actually rigged. I think this asset is rigged in TurboSquid, so we would be able to animate this and put it into different positions for different training tasks. And here's the third guy. So there we have it. Pretty cool pack of content here. So you'd be able to come in and create training scenarios with these assets. And of course, we can very easily bring in other assets that are required for just about any kind of educational or training experience that you'd want to make with Acadicus. So again, I'm going to leave this in room 1667, so you can just come in here. In fact, maybe I'll leave it as a multi-user room, so you could come in here if you wanted to meet other people. If you both come in at the same time, you'll see each other in here as well. So finally, last but not least, is the fire truck. This is actually an asset I bought a while ago for showing to our colleague, Dr. Eric Bauman. He is also trained in firefighting, so he suggested we should get a fire truck in here. So here's a fire truck. Now this model is, it's like a textured shell. There we go. So it doesn't have a lot of 3D detail in it. When you get up to it, you'll see that it's basically a photograph that's been mapped to the side of it. So from a distance, it looks great as a prop asset. But I think when you get up closer, you can see that there's a kind of a lack of detail in terms of 3D modeling. But overall, it's a nice looking asset, and I think somebody that knew what they were talking about could probably talk through exactly what the different elements of this fire truck are, or it could be an asset to support a larger fire safety scene. But an example of one that has more detail, let's see if I go into, I've got an ambulance here. This ambulance has more detail built out. So this is a slightly higher quality in terms of the 3D detail, where like if I go in here, I can actually see the inside of it is all modeled out. And I'm not sure if I can get to the front here, but you can see the front is all modeled out. So it's a very nice, nicely detailed model. And again, these are all in your asset inventory. So if you've unlocked your menu, if you're a subscriber to the Sim Builder system, you can just download the ambulance pack and get that ambulance. The thing that's kind of fun with this is to make it really small. So then you can kind of put your head inside of it and look around. A little miniature one. I'm using my joystick to move things further and closer, and then I can rotate them using the joystick as well. And then while I have it grabbed on, I can use the other joystick on my other hand to scale up or down. Pretty easy way to do that. So, all right. Well, I think I'll leave it at that and leave this recording in the room. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a holocron for this object and place it in the room so that people can come in and check that out. Thanks for watching.